Today we're going to talk about Twitter, and I'm going to give you a few tips for Twitter that I believe will help you extremely. And I'm going to include some other resources from my blog also that you can use. There may be some other bonus videos if you continue watching bonus videos, content I created on Twitter, because I have personally really loved using Twitter as a platform. It actually, with Twitter, you can grow so quickly. You can grow really, really quickly. It's amazing what you can do with Twitter. All right, so let's just jump right in to specific tips on how to grow your Twitter following, how to grow influence, how to start communicating your message on Twitter and get people to notice you. Okay, number one, use hashtags. Okay, hashtags are everything on Twitter, and the way that you can use a hashtag that is relevant. So sometimes we have vanity hashtags that are just like hashtag funny or hashtag why won't my son sleep, like little hashtags like that really don't trend. But there's some hashtags that really trend, and some hashtags that I use in specific niches that you can jump on and begin to use. Okay, so first of all, you want to research hashtags, and the way for you to do that is for you to go to a website called hashtagify me. Okay, so it's hashtagify.me. All right, I'll include this resource in the email that I send out as well. And if you're watching this in a course, then it should be somewhere in the course. I'm gonna include these resources. Okay, all right, so hashtagify.me, you can go in there and type in any hashtag that you want or any hashtag that you're researching and see how influential that hashtag is. You'll get to see which influencers are using it. You'll get to see, they give it a score, and the higher the score, the better. I say if it has a score above 70, then that is awesome. That is wonderful. That means that it's something that you can use when you tweet content out. One of the hashtags that I use a lot is entrepreneur, hashtag entrepreneur. And every time I use hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag solopreneur, hashtag mompreneur, I immediately get eyes on my content that I had I didn't know where they came from, because Twitter is such a hashtag driven platform, and so is Instagram, that if you're using the right hashtags, you'll get people to notice you'll get people to notice your content, you'll get people to notice your brand, you'll get people to buy from you that you've never met. Okay, so this is how powerful hashtags are. All right, so research hashtags. Hashtagify.me is a great place to start researching hashtags. Okay, so find maybe 4 or 5 hashtags within your niche, and every time you tweet, you don't have to use all 4 or all 5, but you at least use one of those hashtags in your tweeted content. Okay, so that's number one. Number 2 is tweet and retweet other folks. Okay, tweet and retweet other folks. So when I say tweet other folks, what do I mean? What I mean is find their content, okay? And when you go into their content, when you go into their blog posts or their videos, tweet out that content and add their handle. Okay, include their handle, and give what that does is that it acknowledges what you're doing, is acknowledging the person's work. You're saying, look, I enjoyed so and so's work, and I'm mentioning their name. And when you do that, and especially when you write text before that person's name, not only do they get notified, the people following them also see that content. Okay, so for instance, there are people that I follow that sometimes people tweet them and they write text before that person's name. I've seen people do even things like put just a period before a person's name, and when they tweet out that content, the followers of that person gets to see. If you only use their handle at the beginning without any text in front of the name, then only that person sees it. But if you do it with text in front of their name, then they see it and other people see it. And if those people are people that you would say that they're within your target audience, then they get to know you, and maybe those people may connect with you on a deeper level than this other person. Okay, so that's another tactic. Retweet folks. When people tweet stuff, retweet them. And now, it used to be that you couldn't do this, but now on Twitter, when you retweet people's content, you're able to write your own content above it, and then the retweet is in like a little box beneath it. So that's really nice. It used to be that, because we were limited to 140 characters, if the person tweets and let's say they've tweeted 128, then you can only add 14 extra characters or 12 extra characters, right? But now you can add your own comments and then have the retweet. So that's really wonderful. And the nice thing about retweeting is that they see it also and their followers see it. Okay, so tweet and retweet, folks. All right, number 3 tactic to use on Twitter is tweet a minimum of 10 times per day. Use your hashtags, tweet and retweet people, and do it more than 10 times a day, at least 10 times a day. Okay, and this 10 times a day could be you tweeting your own content, it could be you tweeting other people's content, it could be you retweeting people's content, it could be you chatting with people, just chatting. Let me tell you something, I have gotten on Twitter and seen people's profiles and been like, wow, this person seems cool, and then I get in touch with them. This doesn't always happen, but maybe 5, 6 out of 10 times when I do this, people will respond back and say, hey Gertrude, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up? And then I'm like, I like your profile. They're like, I like your profile too. This is beginning to sound like a conversation from high school, but you get the point. Like, we begin to chat, and all of a sudden, somebody I knew nothing about, it's almost like we have a bond because we're chatting over our blogs, and we're chatting over, wow, you wrote this and that was so on point, or you created this video and I loved it, and you have that conversation, and both of your followers get to see that, and people get to see, wow, this is such a warm person, this is such a funny person, or whatever, however the conversation goes. People get to see who you are, because social media is not just about pushing your content and pushing your product, it's also about humanizing your brand. And when people see that you're human, oh my goodness, I have people that follow me because Periscope is really attached to Twitter, which is why I love Periscope. When I do my Periscopes, they do show up on Twitter. That's a new feature that came up a few months ago. As of, this is February 2016, in case you're wondering. And so people go back and watch my content and then get back to me and say, oh Gertrude, that was a great scope, and then they comment on something I said in the scope, and it's amazing to me, and I'm like, they watch my scope, and then I respond and say, wow, thank you for watching, and yes, I agree with you, or whatever, and then we move on, and that conversation happens for me on a pretty daily basis. It's happening for me. So do that. Tweet between 10 and 20 times if you can, at least 10 times a day, and it's not just you pushing your content. And don't worry about, wow, is that so much? I know brands that tweet as many as 50 times per day, and it's not too much, because guess what, the Twitter feed moves so quickly. Okay, it moves so quickly that you worrying about, are people going to be bombarded by my tweets? If you're tweeting like every 5 minutes, maybe it's going to get tiring. But if you're tweeting at least like every 30 minutes or every 1 hour, it's unlikely that people will see more than 3 of your tweets, to be honest with you, because the Twitter feed moves so quickly in quick succession that as soon as you tweet something, within 30 seconds, your tweet is at the bottom of 100 tweets, to be honest. So if you're just tweeting 5 times or you're just tweeting 3 times a day, it doesn't make much of a difference, and your followers may not see it unless those people go to your profile. It's only when people go to your click through to your actual profile that they see all the tweets. But if you're tweeting out and people are just looking at things in the feed, people are not going to see a whole lot. But if you tweet out often, you're going to increase the likelihood that people are going to see your content. Okay, so tweet a minimum of 10 times per day. Number 4, optimize your profile. I think we talked about social media profiles earlier. Use some of the research hashtags that you have researched and found to be useful in your niche. Use some of those in your hashtags. I have hashtag Periscope in my profile. I have hashtag solopreneur, so one or two hashtags in your profile is wonderful. All right, I'm not gonna belabor that point. All right, number 5, follow others, but only if you really want to follow them. I know that there's this tactic that goes on Twitter where people follow people and they expect people to follow them back, or they follow people and then they kind of follow, and then if you don't follow me back, then I unfollow you, and I'm like, that's very tiring and very slimy to me, because I don't know. I just believe in genuine connections, and just following people just to follow them so that they follow me back. And when they don't follow me back, then I unfollow them. Just doesn't sound like a great tactic to me. Let me tell you something. You can have people that genuinely like you and genuinely want to follow you if you're giving out good consistently. You're giving out good content. You're having conversations with people. You're personable. If you're doing all these things, people will be naturally attracted to you. Trust me. So follow people, but follow them not so that they follow you back. Follow them because you want to follow them, because you enjoy it, because you think they're so cool and you want to be part of that party and you want to follow them. Don't follow them to unfollow them, no. Or don't follow them to think to expect that they'll follow you back. Don't do that. I don't do that. It's slimy. It's I know that there are people that teach that tactic. I don't find it useful. It's me. I don't find it useful, because if you just follow people to have them follow you back, and those people are not really interested in you, then they follow you back, and then what's I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't do it. I suggest that people don't do it. If you want to do it, sure, but I have it. That's not how I built my Twitter following. So, all right. So follow others, but only if you want to follow them. Number 6, make use of Twitter lists, and I will demonstrate how to use that in another video. I think I'm going to be doing real tutorials. That will be tomorrow. I will do different things I talk about on Twitter, how to use #IfIMe and how to use some of these other tools that you can use for Twitter marketing. I'll talk about that tomorrow. All right. So use Twitter lists. And what Twitter list does is, maybe you don't want to necessarily follow certain people, because Twitter does have a ratio of, how many people you're following to versus your followers. I don't know why, but they have a ratio, and sometimes when you go above that ratio, then they kind of block you and prevent you from getting more followers. I don't know, or prevent you from following more people. I've not gotten to that point yet, because I only follow people I really want to follow, people that I really think are cool. So yeah. But yeah, what Twitter list allows you to do is curate tweets from people that you really want to see, what they're tweeting. So let's say that, like I said, your tweets, move so quickly, but there's somebody that you really want to see their tweet. So like, for instance, I have a Twitter list where it's like lady vlogger bosses, right? And I just have that, and I go in there and see what they've been tweeting about. It's just an easier way for me to find all those people's tweets in one place. It's just an organizing tool for me. Okay. So that's Twitter lists. Okay, jump in on trending conversations. When you go to Twitter and you look on the left side of your screen, you will see trending. You will see trending tweets and trending terms and trending topics. See if you can jump in on the conversation. It's a way of getting involved in the Twitter sphere, the Twitterverse, all right? And I'm getting noticed as well, all right? Number 8 is visual content. Okay, make use. Don't just tweet text messages. Also make use of videos and pictures and GIFs. Okay, as part of your marketing strategy on Twitter. Okay, so I just gave you 8 tips. 8 tips that you can take to the bank when it comes to Twitter. Let's rehash. Okay, all right, so research your hashtags and research relevant hashtags and use them whenever you tweet and retweet other folks. Tweet a minimum of 10 times per day, all right? And it's not just your content. Don't worry about people getting bothered. If you're tweeting even up to 20 times a day, you'll be amazed at the results you begin to get. Optimize your profiles, all right? Follow others, but only if you want to follow them. You don't need to follow them just expecting people to follow you back, all right? Make use of Twitter lists. Number 7, jump on trending conversations. And number 8, use visual content and use it very much, because when you have visual content in the tweeted content, it gets more engagement than just having a regular tweet. All right, so that's for Twitter. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about tools that you can use with Twitter and how that can help you with your growth. Okay, alrighty, I hope you enjoyed this one. All right, see you tomorrow.